All right, everyone, welcome back from the break. We are back with ClanTour number 1, the last series here in our first round. We have Doghouse here on the Legion side taking on the Pandas. So we have a European team taking on an American team, first time so far this tournament. My co-caster BKB unfortunately had to leave me here, so I will be solo casting here this final series for you guys. So again, we are here now in game number 1 as the bans are coming to a conclusion here. We have Keeper of the Forest, Magnus, and Ophelia going to be banned out by the Pandas here on the Hellborn side. The Gladiator, Oogie, and the Madman going to be banned out from the Doghouse here. So addressing some of those carries on top of that teamfight presence of the Gladiator. We have a couple of jungling heroes perhaps banned out, both the Keeper of the Forest and the Ophelia. But as we saw in our last
Engineer,
series, Keeper of the Forest also played in that
Lodestone,
long lane as a pulling suicide. We could potentially have seen that once again. And then the Magnus as well, very solid hero overall, banned out from time to time. We're going to have the first pick of the game going to be a Luna for the Pandas, as Engineer and Lodestone are going to be the two response picks here from the side of Doghouse. So two more picks now coming up. We still have the full 80 seconds on the clock. What will the Pandas shape up the rest of their lineup here with? As I'm expecting this Aluna to be either the main support or the secondary support. We don't really see Aluna in more of a core role all that often, so it is possible but very unlikely.
Cthulhu
There's going to be the Cthulhu pickup, so they do go with an initiator on their second pick. Now we have both sides picking up one initiator and the engineer. We could still see that as a mid lane hero for Znooki, but I am expecting it to be more of that supportive hero, perhaps played by Dude uh, as the main support there. But we'll have to wait and see. Again, still very early on in the draft. But Pandas are going to go with using a lot of their time here on this third pick. This one going to be pretty crucial. What they want to pick up here before the next wave of bans does kick in. Whether they go with another core or a
Background's
support,
rate
they're going to
is
go with the Moira.
overcompensation, if you ask me.
So pretty solid pick there, as that one tends to get banned away a lot of the time. So they have dual support picked up with the Cthulhu font as their initiator. We have the bans underway now. Pebbles and Gauntlet so far coming out from the Doghouse. We have Flux banned out from the side of Pandas, as that would synergize quite well with the Engineer and the Lodestone on top of that discharge. We see the Initiators being addressed here by Doghouse. Vindicator going to be the second ban coming out from the Pandas, as they don't want to have that Moira being disabled using that Ephemeral Forge, adding on that extra teamfight presence to that Engineer and Lodestone initiations as well. So one more ban a piece before we enter into the next pick phase. And still a lot of extra time here from the Doghouse to kind of think about what they want to do here with their final ban and eventually their picks. They will get rid of the Kraken as their last one there. Predator, the final ban of the game. Pretty solid choice there, as that one counters the Cthulhu font quite heavily. A hero that we have seen Fa play from time to time, especially going up against that Cthulhu font, as the Carnivorous is on top of that Venomous Sleep, really disruptive for him to deal with in that early laning stage.
Malikan,
We're going to see a Malikan and a
Glacius,
Glacius get picked up here by the side of Doghouse, so they will go with their carry option as well as a secondary support. Now, I do say secondary support, but Doghouse is a team that is very special here. They are one of the teams that from time to time run a jungling Glacius. So I'm not saying we're going to see that this game, but the possibilities are there. We could see a jungling Glacius coming out from Lilac, as he is their position 4 player. And depending on how the Pandas do
Bombs,
decide to go with their lanes,
Jerizaya,
They might send Glacius into the jungle to start freezing those hard camp creeps and getting that farm up on the Glacius for eventual items like the Portal Key, the Staff of the Master. He has had very good games with the Jungle Glacius now. We still have a final pick coming up. It is going to be the Nighthound here, so it looks like we'll see Ozef playing that one in more of the offlane style of role, which does mean that actually no, we have Lodestone, which is typically Ozef's hero. That means how are they going to swap these heroes actually? I'm gonna have to wait and see how they do that. Actually, they're gonna have Lilac playing the Nighthound, and then Duder's gonna play the Glacius on the main support with Znooki playing the Engineer.
Let's
So
get
it
it
is going to be a
on.
mid-engineer this game. So they do end up swapping things around. As Doghouse, they're one of my favorite teams to cast, and no bias to them. It's just I love their uniqueness in terms of how they swap up the hero roles. It's always fun to kind of see how they put the heroes on the rolls. But enough of their lineup. We'll talk about the last two picks here from the Pandas as we have a Bubbles and a Jeraziah pick coming out. We saw Jeraziah in a series earlier today, which was Big Ego Crew versus Backdoor Protocol. And if I'm not mistaken, Backdoor Protocol with that Jeraziah did end up taking that game. So Jeraziah had some pretty promising showing there in that game. We're going to get to see a one-roll Jeraziah played here once again, this time by the Pandas, as that one's played by LilredPanda over there. And then we have Bubbles going to be the mid lane hero here with Cthulhu Font in the off lane, Aluna as the secondary support, and Moira as that main support. So we are in a pause here as both teams are perhaps talking things over or uh, having just a little pause there, whatever the reason may be. But we can already see it looks like Engineer going to be teleporting. He is porting into the mid lane where he has skilled his spider mines. So he's going to be playing that mid lane role this game. He's going to be looking to get that mines trap for a potential first blood kill going. We'll see where he does look to put those mines. But I'm a big fan of core Engineer. I love seeing Engineer played in more of a farming style role. We'll get to see the impact that Znooki has this game on that hero. But one roll Jeraziah against one roll Malakin. There is a Nighthound here as more of that secondary backup core. Whereas the Hellborn side really only running the one core here. So I think it's safe to say the late game scaling potential does go over to the Doghouse the longer this game kind of goes. But I think in terms of the early to mid game stages, I think the lineup here from the Panda is going to have a lot of fighting power, a lot of team fight presence with the Moira, with the Cthulhu Font Bubbles, and the Jeraziah. And it's going to come down to how well Doghouse executes their early game. If they're able to kind of have a strong showing in the early game and then eventually make that transition over to that mid game stage. But it looks like the two teams are ready. We are underway here in game number one. Again, this is a best of three match. So right off the bat here, we see Doghouse. Looks like they're heading toward the bottom lane with Engineer already porting to that mid lane. He wants to set up those spider mines. Didn't get a chance to see the items he bought, but he did put a mine here on his hill in the mid lane. He's placed one at the rune area as well. So perhaps he's just looking to simply use these mines as more of a scouting tool than anything. We'll see if he goes back to the base to get his regen, which I'm expecting him to do. He picks up the golden apple there. Gonna have that extra little mana regen as Bubbles did make his way over to the mid lane. We even have a Ward of Revelation dropped in the tower here. That one was picked up by Cthulhu Fawn, it looks like. That was given over to the Bubbles. So he's going to have that Ward of Revelation, expecting this core engineer here to have that mine shot. That's a heads up play coming out from the Pandas. And it just shows you the presence of mind that these players have here at the high level to really expect these kinds of things happening. But we'll take a look at the laning phase here. We have what looks like to be a tri-lane coming out. We have Aluna, Cthulhu and Moira. So Jeraziah going to be going up into that short lane as a solo against the Lodestone. Pretty interesting matchup there. Then we have Engineer versus the Bubbles. which again, I think that's a great matchup for Bubbles. As long as he gets the take cover there, he's going to be able to not only take cover the spider mine damage, but also very easily able to take cover the keg stun. We'll see if that proves to be uh, any problems for Znooki there on the engineer, as he's a fantastic mid player. But we already have Nighthound with the Toxin Claws scouting the way here with his Invis guild up. They know they're going up against a tri-lane. So Glacius, Malikan, and Nighthound as like a tri-lane versus tri-lane here. Going to be quite the interesting lane setup here. Moira going to get initiated on here with some auto attacks. Trample going to be missed there. Shards of Harkon does connect onto both the Nighthound and the Malikan as the Word of Revelation is down. But no kills happening at least just yet. We see a pull coming in from the Illuna, so already the Panda's getting that lane control down there in the bottom lane. Take a look at the mid lane really quickly. We have a 5-in-1 Engineer against a 3-in-1 Bubbles. Engineer already off to a good start. Meanwhile, in the top lane, 3-0 against 3-in-1. Again, very early on in terms of the creep score, but I think it's safe to say we'll be needing to focus a lot of our attention here on the tri-lane. Nighthound already getting the level 2 here, as well as the Glacius and the Malikan. So the Legion tri-lane is ahead in experience here. They still need the level 2s on the tri-lane of Hellborn before they can look to take an engagement. LilTealPanda taking some heavy pressure here. Forced to fall back. Illuna throwing out the Emerald Lightning Stun. There's a freeze coming in from Glacius. Will this be our first blood kill? As the sword throw comes in from Malikan on top of that cloud, and that will be enough damage for the kill. So, Doghouse getting that first blood kill there on their Malikan, as Illuna just gets caught a little bit too far. Bot rune will be a haste rune spawning here for the Bubbles. Now, no bottle picked up just yet. He's going to pick it up. And for good reason. The Nighthound was in the area, going to not allow him to bottle that one up. But with Bubbles leaving the mid lane force a little bit there, it allows Engineer to pick up a couple of last hits. He's currently leading by 2, but still quite even. Top lane again, pretty even. We got 13-2 Lodestone against 12-1 Jeraziah. So again, down in the tri-lane here, we have Malikan off to a great start with that Bloodlust kill, 410 gold per minute. Or we're going to go in with a Shards of Harkon stun here on the Malikan. Here comes a 2-man trample from the CthulhuFont though on the supporting cast as Nighthound pounces in on the backline. CthulhuFont is going for a kill there on the Glacius. The Obliterate going to take him down, and now Illuna, will she go down? The cloud is down from Nighthound. She will go down. Here comes the Shards of Harkon, going to stun up the Malikan there, as he has a sword throw coming up in 1 more second. That is a level 2 sword throw. But he's going to pop his health potion there, and he will be just fine. So it ends up being a 1-for-1 exchange there. Glacius for the Illuna, as we see a 2-to-1 hero kill lead now for the side of Doghouse. So lane control in the favor of the Hellborn side here, at least for now. They're trying to do the pulls there with the medium camp, as it will drag one of the creeps over. But Nighthound making his way into the mid lane now, being very disruptive to the Bubbles. Meanwhile, this is happening. Malikan goes down to the trio of stuns due to Nighthound being gone here. Great capitalization by the Pandas there to recognize Nighthound was currently in the mid lane, putting out some pressure on the Bubbles. Both runes going to be camped here by the Doghouse, as Regeneration going to be picked up by the Nighthound. Merrick's going to be picked up by the Engineer, and that will deny Bubbles the bottle being refilled there. Word of Revelation down. Bubbles will use the take cover with the Shell Surf, but won't be able to get the port to the Surf, and that cloud just going to cause too much disruption for him there as he goes down to that keg stun. So even though he had the Word of Revelation down, the slows from the Toxin Claws, the silence from the cloud, just too disruptive for him. Top lane, it looks like we just continue to have these two duking it out. Creep score is pretty much identical. Not a whole lot of action between the two, just farming away up there. But down in the tri lane, Malkin, he's still, even with the death, doing quite well. Trample Stone is going to connect here onto the Glacius. Here comes the Shards of Harkon from the Moira as the Nighthound Cloud is down on the back line, but Glacius will fall. Sword Throw connects onto the Moira, and she will fall to that Toxin Claws of Nighthound. Now Cthulhuphon is in some trouble as Luna lines up a two-man power throw. Trample will be used defensively, but we have a Sword Throw coming up in one more second. Pounce comes in from the Nighthound. There's a Sword Throw as they end up taking a 2-for-1 exchange down here. Meanwhile, in the top lane, Lodestone with the Shatterstorm gets the solo kill there onto Jeraziah. A huge kill coming in from Azov onto LilredPanda there, slowing down the Jeraziah's farm. And now Lodestone is up to 360 gold per minute. So we see the Doghouse coming out ahead here at the almost 6-minute mark with a 2,000 gold and 2,000 experience lead, showing their veteran experience here as they have the top 3 farmers all belonging to their side. We have a Kelfield coming into the mid lane, Trample coming with the Obliterate, going to do some good damage here to the Engineer, but he will survive with 40 life, and now Cthulhuphon could be in some trouble here as Nighthound with the Toxin Claw is going to fall back, actually not pursuing that kill. So no kills happening as the Kelfield was holding them in place there. Moira now rotating up to the top lane. She's currently only level 3, and this Lodestone is going to be very, very difficult to push back out of this top lane. As we have a stun coming in onto the Nighthound under that Ward of Rep Shell Surf Song of the Sea combo, and Nighthound is no more. Meanwhile, we have an Invis Rune up on the Glacius in the bot lane. Here comes a freeze onto Cthulhuphon. Glacial or Tundra Blast coming in, but Malikan just a little too far to follow that one up with a sword throw. It will force him back. Top lane, we have Lodestone. He's chasing back the Jeraziah, but with no rocket drill, he's not going to land that one up. But here comes the head smash as the keg stun deters his movement there. So Znooki sets up that kill there once again onto the Jeraziah, who is now 0-2-0, falling for the second time. The lead continues to expand here, nearing 3,000 gold in experience. Bot lane. But Lodestone, he has a Shatterstorm ready to go. As it gets stunned up here by the Aluna, will he look to potentially go for a kill here? Don't think by himself he will look to do that, but still farming very well. He is 380 gold per minute. Bubbles picks up the Striders with the Amulet of the Exile. Looks like he's going for the early game stats, but opting for that mobility. Not going for the Steam Boots here. Still. But in the mid lane, we have Engineer back. Cloud comes in from the Nighthound. The keg is going to be missed, unfortunately. So nice job there by the Bubbles to avoid that keg stun, as he did have double damage rune available. Order of Revelation going to come out here from Engineer to counter that ward from the Hellborn side. So that will make life a bit easier for Nighthound to try to set up a future gank. But no kill's going to happen here, as we now see Glacius running into the jungle, throwing out those freezes, killing those hard camp creeps. So Duder finding some farm here. while there is some downtime, but not going to be Chris here jungling the glitch. It's going to be Duder. Moira gets a ward of sight down here in the top lane, kind of spotting out this lodestone here, but they don't know who Nighthound is here. He's going to show himself on this ward of revelation. There's is he going to go for the heal here? He does not have mana currently. He would have to use the chalice, which looks like he does not want to do that. So again, Nighthound causing pressure here. Meanwhile, mid lane, we have a champ coming in, following up that Kelfield, and they get the kill onto Engineer once again. So Kelfield coming into play there as they bring down Znooki once again. That will be his second death now. As Bubbles, he's thinking about going in on the Glacius, but he decides not to port there to his Shell Serp. So again, Malakin just continues to farm away down here in the bottom lane. 420 gold per minute. Not too much pressure really resisting him as Lodestone now finishes his Shaman's Headdress. We have initiation here in the mid lane from Nighthound onto Bubbles, but not enough damage to bring him down for a kill. So jungle stack's going to be worked on here by CthulhuFa and Luna. Looks like we'll see the Obliterate here used. They're going to try to clean up this hard camp creep as CthulhuFa takes some heavy pressure. And that's going to get him about 900 gold here in the bank. We'll see if see what he decides to build into as his next item. But only sitting at 255 gold per minute, not doing too badly. Moira currently in the mid lane, trying to get her level 6. As Bubbles rotates down to the bottom lane. It's going to be very difficult for them to deal with this Malakin. I feel like they don't necessarily have the best ways of killing the Malakin, at least just now. At least until Jagheterelin starts to get some kind of farm going, but only with the build up here, picks up the Ghost Marchers and the Chalice. Has 1,000 gold saved up, so we'll possibly see that Dawnbringer pickup that we saw earlier today. Lodestone channeling a Shatterstorm here. This could be a kill here as the explosion will go off. There's the pounce from Nighthound. Jagheterelin, one more hit. He does get the inner light heal off, and he's looking to turn this one around with the charm as Bubbles comes in with the Kelfield being locking down. The Lodestone Trample is going to miss here, and will Lodestone make the escape? Doesn't look like it. So Jagheterelin survives and they turn it around. Great TP support coming in from the side of the Pandas as they do bring down that Lodestone there. Top lane, looks like we have some tower pressure coming in. Gonna force out that Glyph. Nighthound in the area. He's possibly waiting for some TP support where they could look to maybe set up a kill here. Jagheterelin not with the most mana, but I think they will need more than just Lodestone and the Nighthound here. So they do a lot of damage to the tower, but they don't go for the tower kill itself. Haystern up on the Engineer, who again he's only farming 300 gold per minute. Very, very similar to the Bubbles here, both level 9. We see Malakin, he does go for the Whispered Helm this game. We'll see if he goes for a damage item as his next pickup, or what he decides to build into. Nighthound currently scouting the jungle here. He's going to see CthulhuFa on very low life, but I don't think he can get this kill by himself necessarily. Bottom tower will fall here to the creeps. Malakin will let that one go. It's Lodestone and Jagheterelin still going at it up there in the top lane. Jagheterelin sitting on 1,800 gold. We have Moira going down. I think that was to a Mind Trap actually, as Engineer wasn't really. So Mind Trap finally getting a kill there from Engineer. There's the Kegstun landing, following up that Nighthawk Cloud, and Bubbles will fall. It ends up being a double tap for Znooki on the Engineer. And very good kill on the Bubbles as he was getting very close to his portal key. So Malikan, what will he be going for in this game is the question. We could see the Thunderclaw, we could see a damage item. Not too sure what we're going to see fall pick up here, but we'll probably get the answer to that in the next couple of minutes, as this farm is only going up and up. 505 gold per minute currently as he starts to work on some of these jungle stacks that have been built here from the glaciers. Tower is going to be glyphed up here in the mid lane as we have a port coming in. That's going to be Bubbles deterring the creep wave. Here comes a Kelfield onto the Glacius. He goes in, setting up that Shards of Harkon coming in from the Moira, and they will get that one kill. Tower will also be denied here, but while this is going on, Lodestone and Nighthawk stealing away some of the stacks in the jungle. The Pandas will counter and take a tier 1 tower themselves. Still a 7,600 gold lead and 9,000, 10,000, there we go, experience lead as we see the Vagabond leader died a Kongor there from Malikan, so possibly forgetting that he had that creep there, ends up losing it to the Kongor. He's going to be a little sad when he sees that's missing, but still a big lead here for the Doghouse as the tier 1 tower falls in the top lane. We see the Pandas taking over the Legion's jungle now. LilredPanda picked up on the Jagheterelin as he has kind of joined his teammates down here. Portal key on the Bubbles as well. We see Nighthound scouting the way, following the Moira here. Failed Rot on the Glacius. He's going to look to place a ward here in the Hellborn's base. They might be looking to take a team fight down here, or up here rather, as they see the port coming in from Aluna. TPs are coming in from the Pandas. Will they get the catch they're looking for? Trample will be missed here by Cthulhu Bomb. Bubbles jumps in with a Song of the Sea, but they're not going to follow that one up as Jagheterelin gives the kill or the tower over to the team there in the bottom lane. That one didn't fall. Top lane we have stuff kind of hanging around the air. He's feeling pretty comfortable that he can't die here. He's got the post ace and the shaman's headdress picked up. But yeah, he's gonna be just fine here as they just simply can't kill him. We see Malikan working on the Kongor here with the Insanitarius picked up on top of the oh, he actually breaks the Whispering Helm for Elder Parasite and Sanitarius. Didn't expect that one actually, as they're gonna get the kill here onto the Engineer and the Malikan. Engineer is going to buy back. Here comes an energy field as he ports in. There comes the Shadow Storm being channeled by Ozov, and that's going to line up. They're gonna get the kill there onto Moira. Will they get this kill onto Bubbles now as Malikan does buy back as well, and he comes in with the possession. They will get the secondary kill here. So they did get some kills and a couple of buybacks as Aluna dies in the mid lane as well to Nighthound and Glacius, but they're gonna most likely secure themselves this Kongor kill. As there you go. Kongor kill, or Kongor does end up falling. So they do expend 2 buybacks to take that Kongor, but they do end up getting it nonetheless. Engineer is here in the mid lane. Here comes Nighthawk with a pounce as he does force out the heal and the charm from Zaya. And he picks up the Soul Scream ring there. It looks like he'll be building into that Nullfire Blade, which eventually will be used to purge that charm off. But Engineer, he, with that buyback used, doesn't have a core item picked up just yet. He's sitting on 2,000 gold. Whether or not it'll be a Storm Spirit or a Portal Key is the question, as he has 2,300 gold saved up currently. It looks like he might be building towards that Portal Key. See if he values the Storm Spirit a little bit more. Lodestone channeling a Shatter Storm here in the top lane. Bubbles is take covered currently, but he will fall as he does come out of that. But Lodestone does get the solo kill there. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, Jagheterelin getting locked on by Nighthound and Glacius. Glacial Downpour being channeled there as the Cloud cannot, or does not allow him to get off that charm. So, full duration Glacial Downpour coming out. from the side of Glacius, and Doghouse now leading by 13,000 gold and 16,000 experience. Portal key picked up on CthulhuFont. Safe to say they're going to need some good initiations from him to get them back into this game. But Malikan is farming away still. He's 552 gold per minute despite the buyback. And we could see another damage item following the Insanitarius or something like a Shrunken Head. Something that comes to mind with the Elder Parasite is something like a Shield Breaker, but I don't know if he'll go for that item route. We'll just wait and see what he goes next. Wouldn't be surprised to see a Shrunken Head. We see another kill coming in, this time in the top lane from the Lodestone as he takes out the Aluna here. Lodestone is 490 gold per minute. Engineer goes for a Staff of the Master, so apparently he was hiding pieces to that in his stash. Didn't see that. Actually, didn't see that coming, but he's almost 400 gold per minute on the Engineer. And now has the ability to throw his energy field. We saw that one in the first series today, where Big Ego Crew, I believe, got the... Was it Big Ego Crew? One of the teams got the Staff of the Master on the Engineer, and that was kind of fun to watch. But interesting to see it as his first item here. CthulhuFont with the build rod, they want to set up a kill here. Aluna going to get gone on here as the energy field is down. Arcane Vortex not going to be in time to save Aluna, but CthulhuFont will get saved here. Glacius and Nighthound still in the area with Engineer. The Trample will be used defensively. And no kill's going to happen after losing their Aluna. So Tablet was picked up on Nighthound. He does not go for the multiple blade. See a sword throw into the possession here. CthulhuFont just going to melt. So much damage coming in from the Malikan. Jerizaya not going to be able to stop the TP there from the Lodestone. He'll make the escape. Picks up a Codex, by the way. Codex level 2. That's going to add on extra damage to his burst potential there. Not even feeling he needs the portal key this game. Perpetual Cogwheel on the bubbles. Looks like he'll be going Spell Shards. There is the Shaman's pickup on Lodestone. We got Vestments on Malikan as well. There's some decent magic on him. Reroll Initiation in the mid lane. Moira and Jerizaya both falling there. Malikan just chunking in the damage on the tower. The GDs are called, and it looks like the Pandas have had enough here in game number 1. 20,000 gold and experience lead, just a little too much for them to overcome. So that will do it there for game number 1. Just an excellent laning stage coming out from the side of Doghouse. Lodestone, too difficult to deal with. He was more or less unkillable. They got a couple of kills there on the Engineer, but Malikan, they weren't really able to address him as they had really no way of kind of bringing him down in those fights. And he just got to a point where he was too farmed. So Doghouse, they're going to take that one. We'll go on a short break here as we get game number 2 up and going. So stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen. Game 2 coming up shortly here between Doghouse and the Pandas.
Captain's pick.
Welcome back from the break, ladies and gentlemen. We are here once again with the Pandas taking on the Doghouse here. The Pandas on the Legion side, Doghouse on the Hellborn side, and we are back. This is game number 2 now. Doghouse taking game number 1, so they are leading this series 1-0. Pandas trying to stay alive here in round 1, force that third and final game. So we'll see if they can make a comeback here and do that, as we got the bands already underway. We got the Gladiator, the Madman, and Oogie. Only 2 of those 3 heroes having the word "the" in their name, but the Oogie definitely deserving a ban nonetheless, as he is quite the powerful one in his own right. Then we have Keeper of the Forest, Nighthound, and Magnus. going to be banned out there from the side of the Pandas. So you know what? I think they've had enough of that Nighthound. He was just so darn pesky for them to deal with there in that game number one with his constant roaming there, not only in the mid lane, onto the bubbles, but also that presence in the tri lane as well as in the long lane. So they get rid of the Nighthound there, the Magnus, and the Keeper of the Forest. I believe were banned in game number one as well. So not changing up too much there. But first pick is gonna go the way of the Doghouse here. We're gonna get to see what they're gonna go for, as they're gonna go
Chipper.
with the Chipper, and they are definitely one of the teams that if you said who's gonna be picking up the Chipper, I would say the Doghouse. As Duder is no stranger to the Chipper. He is a pretty expert sniper there, as we could possibly see something like a Draconis picked up for Znooki, as we've seen them run the Chipper with the Draconis combo time and time again. Will they actually go for that combination here is the question, but we'll just have to wait and see, as there are still 4 picks still remaining for their side. Got the shadow pick of the Geomancer. They're going to pick up
Geomancer.
that one. So they're going to go with a support option there in the Geomancer. One more pick to follow. Will they go for something like that Cthulhu font once again, or a different style of Strength Initiator? We'll see what they decide to pick up. But the Chipper, very flexible hero there. I'm expecting that one to be uh, a main support Chipper. As I pointed out, they typically run that on Duder. I don't know if they necessarily run that in different
Monarch.
roles, but I am expecting them to pick some kind of hero that likes to go into the jungle very early on, take out those stacks in the jungle, and get that snowball kind of going. But we're going to see the Monarch coming out here, following up the Geomancer pickup. So they're going to go with a very defensive style of support, but also a very aggressive roaming style of support with the Geomancer. So we're going to see 2 supports coming out here from the Pandas, and 2 more picks to follow now from the Doghouse, as they will use some of their overtime here. Still 60 seconds on the clock. What will they be looking to go for here? So last game we saw the secondary support roaming Nighthound. We'll see if they go for a very similar style of lineup with a roamer uh, style of hero. Heroes like the Behemoth possibly come to mind. I've been getting or I got a chance to cast a lot of scrims this week from the Doghouse. They have been liking the Behemoth a lot lately, as one of their initiators on that secondary support kind of role.
Scout.
But they're gonna not go with an
Kraken.
initiator here, at least in the Behemoth. They're gonna go with the Kraken and the Scout. So Scout going to be a core hero for them, following up the Kraken pickup as well. And I couldn't say that I was actually expecting a Scout or a Kraken pick to come out, but those are some interesting ones. I do think we're gonna see carry Scout. I don't think we'll see, as odd as this does sound, more of a support style of Scout with something like a Sapphire picked up. So if they do go for a Sapphire, it would not be out of the question, but we'll see if they do go for that kind of combination there with the Scout Sapphire. But I think maybe more so they picked up the Scout for those eyes, being able to spot out the Geomancer running around with the Geostock. But they still could run an offlane Scout. Doesn't necessarily have to be a position 1 Scout. He is sort of flexible in that kind of role, but I do think we're going to see mid lane Kraken, at least for now. So I think it will be a Znooki Kraken. We'll have to wait and see once again there. But bans coming out now: Vindicator and Predator once again. A lot of the same style of bans from last game. We have Tempest and Zephyr going to be banned out by Doghouse. So they're banning out those team fighters. There's the Behemoth band coming out, which, well, I was talking about the Behemoth. I was expecting them to go for a Behemoth there, following up the Chipper pick, as that would have some nice synergy, those long range spell casts between the Fissure and the Rockets. But There's going to be a War Beast band coming out from the Doghouse. Not too sure if they were looking to run a War Beast, but
Lodestone.
they do go for a Lodestone here right off the bat. So it looks like they kind of had this one in mind. They're not going to give that one over to Ozov. He had a fantastic performance there on the Lodestone in game number one. He was more or less unkillable with the Shaman Cedrus, the Post Ace, and then eventually picked up that Codex for that extra burst damage. But they're going to go ahead and steal away the Lodestone this game, as they do want that one as their initiator. Most likely going to pair that one with the Geomancer into the off lane as a potential dual lane. Could also look to run a tri lane with the Geomancer and the Monarch having Lodestone soloing in one of the lanes.
Gemini.
And then we have a Gemini pick coming out from the Pandas on their fourth pick. So they will reveal one of their
Dr.
carry heroes here.
Repulsor.
And look at that, Znooki over on
Flux.
Doghouse. He knew exactly what he wanted. He wastes no time. Dr. Repulsor and Flux going to be the final two picks here to round off the lineup here from the side of Doghouse as they pick up a couple more core heroes here. Now the question is, how are they going to allocate the picks here in terms of how they're going to run these lanes? Is this going to be a jungling Doctor Repulsor, or are we going to see some kind of odd secondary support hero, either the Scout, the Flux? How are they going to lane these heroes is the question. So I'm just going to wait till they swap it up. We'll see how the lanes end up shaping up. As I always try to guess these things. Half the time I'm wrong, just gonna let it happen. But one more pick following up
Alonia.
here for the Pandas. They needed a mid, and they're gonna go with Alonia. So they're gonna go with the flash farming presence here of the Alonia to back up that Gemini and Lodestone as those position 1 and 3 cores. And we've got a chance to see a lot of Alonia in the last week. And we've seen the power that Alonia does have with her farming capabilities, going or being able to go into the jungle very early on into the game, take out those triple stacks, and really start to skyrocket that GPM. So,
Lescadon.
the odds of an Alonia coming out of the 8 to 12 minute mark with like 5 to 600 GPM. I won't say it's going to happen, but I will say there are definitely possibilities that it could happen as she's able to do that very, very easily with the flash farming presence of her Glacial Spike and her Frigid Field. So we see the Pandas already out of the gates here. 5 players to the top lane. They want to get those words of sight down, possibly go for a bloodlust kill. As we do have Fa playing the Doctor Repulsor here, so going to be a position 1 Doctor Repulsor. We have Scout, he picks up the Hatchet and the Toxin Claws. Looks like he'll be going into that off lane, where I almost want to say he's going to be playing more of a secondary support style of Scout, but at the same time, we haven't seen items picked up yet on the Kraken. We have Flux going into the mid lane being played by Znooki, so we're going to have Flux versus Alonia matchup in the mid lane. And looks like we have a complete fallback here from the Pandas. They decide not to go for a bloodlust kill. But Chipper and Dr. Repulsor, they're going to be going up into that short lane. Then we have Scout down here in the bottom lane. He is kind of the key hero for me this game. I really don't know what to expect from Scout, how he's going to be really utilized with this lineup, if he's going to be, or how he's going to be getting his farm necessarily. But Kraken, he does pick up a hatchet himself, so he is definitely looking to take over the farm down here in the bottom lane, at least. That's my thought. Scout is going to be spotting out the Geomancer here with the ward, and I think he spotted out Geomancer placing that one. So again, last game they had the Nighthound. This game they have the Scout doing kind of a similar role here. He's going to break his invis over here in the deep parts of the Legion jungle, but is he going to actually be going behind the Alonia to set up a Bloodlust kill with the Flux? I will say, once he does get that release, he is going to be able to slow the Alonia very hard, especially with the Toxin Claws. And we see Scout jungling the easy camp, so it's actually a jungling Scout. I would have never guessed this in a million years, but you know what? It is what it is. We have Gemini, Monarch, and Geomancer down in the bot lane, tri-laning against the solo Kraken. And then we have Lodestone going up 1 versus 2 against the Doctor Repulsor and the Chipper. We almost would rather see the tri-lane go up to the top lane here from Legion to kind of face this Doctor Repulsor lane and just really shut him down, whereas the Lodestone I think could do just fine against the Kraken, but they're going to spot him out in the trees here. Here comes the Crippling Pollen into the breath from Gemini. There is the stun from Geomancer. Kraken's going to charge at Gemini, and that's going to mean he's going to go down for the first blood kill. So 1 minute 25 seconds in, Ozlov will fall here, and the bloodless kill will be going the way of Gemini. Meanwhile, top lane, Dr. Repulsor taking some heavy pressure, but he's going to have the health potion. He'll be just fine as Lodestone not able to get that kill there all by himself. Middle lane, there's the kill coming in from Scout and Flux. I kind of talked about that being a possibility in the future here, but missed it on my own screen as Alonia does go down. Scout, he's going to try to take the rune here as he's faking the auto attacks here. Looks a little funny, but will Monarch get the rune there? Looks like he gets the refreshment there. As I believe we're on a USC server as well. Last game we were on EU. Again, I usually like to bring this up just because we rarely have the EU versus NA matchup. So this game is actually being played on a USC server. Last game was on EU, so we'll see if that does come into play at all. But Alonia, it could be in some trouble once again. Here comes the slows from Scout and Flux. And holy cow, Alonia. She just, you know, you normally think of Alonia being the one who slows the opponent down, but this time it's Flux and Scout slowing the Alonia, and he cannot make the escape there. So he falls once again for the second time. And I believe he has TP on cooldown now as he's died kind of close in succession there. So we have Monarch taking over the mid lane, at least for now, to try to get that experience. But the laning stage already going quite well here for the Doghouse, as Kraken, despite the death, he's getting a couple of creep kills down there in the bottom lane. We have Scout making his way over with that Vanish. Will they be able to set up a kill, though, is the question. He's just going to put some pressure out onto the Gemini. As Dr. Repulsor continues to do very well here in the top lane. 22 and 11 creep score. He currently has the top creep score of the game. And he is overshadowed by the 2-0 score of Flux, only on the 18 creep kills, but 450 gold there on the Flux. And Gemini, he did get that bloodless kill, but since then he has fallen a bit in GPM. Top lane, we have the kill happening from Dr. Repulsor and Chipper. A little surprised by that, actually. I wasn't expecting Lodestone to die before Dr. Repulsor gets to level 6, but too much damage coming in from the Chipper rockets, it looks like, as Dr. Repulsor did level that opposite charge as level 1. And we now have a 3-1 hero kill lead in favor of the Doghouse. Top rune going to be camped here by Znooki on the Flux. He gets the DD rune as he ports back to the lane, not wanting to miss those creep kills. The bot rune will be picked up by the Scout, which was the Merrick's rune. So again, great rune control coming in from the Doghouse. Top lane, Lodestone going to get that kill with Geomancer onto the Dr. Repulsor, only being level 5. Lodestone, he's trying to make the escape here. No mana for the Rockets and Chipper. Will he end up falling here to the Geomancer? Smackdown comes out from the Geomancer, and it'll be 2 kills stolen away of the Pandas. As that will be a nice pair of kills. Meanwhile, mid lane, we have Flux going down to the Alonia and the Monarch. The slows coming in this time. Flux now with not getting the assistance of Scout here. Monarch coming in for the gang. And now all of a sudden the Pandas are at a hero kill lead. They take a small gold lead here at about 200 gold. As Gemini now overtakes the GPM here at 430. Kraken, he's got Marchers, he's level 5, getting close to that level 6 where he will have that release the Kraken. And that will restrain the Gemini as long as he's in the release the Kraken. No longer needs to be pulled into the center. That recently got changed in one of the last patches there. So Kraken getting that really strong restrain effect. Very, very key here for heroes like Lodestone and Gemini to use their escapes. But we have Veiled Rod here on the Monarch, Lodestone porting in as well. They want to set up a kill on this Kraken as they have Monarch coming in with the Crippling Pollen. They will use the Lodestone. Rocket Mill, here comes the breath from the Gemini, and Kraken, he will fall. He does get a Tsunami charge off, but it didn't matter in the end as there was just too much damage there for him to survive. Dr. Repulsor now is level 6 up in the top lane, has that sorcery boots picked up, so it looks like we'll be seeing most likely the Icon of the Goddess build, where he will be breaking that later on after he picks up both the Glowstone and the Beast Heart. He will break that and build into the icon. We have Flux up in the top river, giving that invisibility rune over to the chipper. They want to set up a kill here, possibly in the mid lane as Flux does have the discharge ready to go. Will he look to use that right away? As Scout is in the area. Here comes the Electric Eye, going to silence up both the Alonia and the Geomancer. They will get the one kill there onto the Alonia, and nothing he can do as he did get silenced up. So nice kill coming in there from the Doghouse as 3 players rotate over for that one. But now Kraken is level 6, and if we get any kind of rotation over down here in the bot lane, they could definitely kill the Gemini, I feel like. But Scout only being level 4, I'm not sure if he's going to be able to provide enough damage assistance here. But they're going to go for some harass here. Torrent going to come out from Kraken. There's the splash harass. And we see Monarch in the area. Here comes a breath from Gemini. Silence is going to come out. He does stun up both the dogs. Release the Kraken is on top, but he will recombine into main form as Lodestone comes in with a rocket drill. Here comes the stun from Gemini missing, but it's not going to matter as there's just too much damage from both the head smash and the team support damage there. So 2 kills going the way of the Pandas. As mid lane we have an initiation there. Dig stun catching him out. Absolute Zero going to come out. Is this going to be enough damage as Flux is going to make the TP escape? Just too darn tanky there is Znooki on that Flux, sitting on 12 and 90 HP with those straight steam boots. And a nice escape indeed, as no Crystal Field was available, only being level 5 there on the Geomancer. But also no flash freeze on the Alodia. Perhaps if he had put 1 point into that, that would have assisted for the kill there, as that would have been able to stop the TP. But Veiled Rod on the Flux there, he's going to find a haste rune, and that is going to be troublesome for the Alodia, and he is going to use that pull to stop the TP. Very well done there by our Hellborn side there, the Doghouse. Gets that kill there on the Alonia. Chipper, he's having some fun over here at the Kongor. I'm not too sure what he's actually doing. He's got a ward of sight on him. I think he wants to kind of get a ward down, but where is he looking to place that ward is the question. He's currently just kind of walking around this Kongor area, but perhaps thinking to himself, hey, where do I want to put this ward? Do I want to use it yet? Not gonna go ahead and do it just yet, though. He's gonna make his way back to the lane. But we have a Veiled Rotted Lodestone and Geomancer using that Geostock. Are they gonna get the initiation here? Here comes the Rocket scouting out the Lodestone. And excellent job from Jude there on the Chipper. They even think there's a lane ward. Just the mind games coming in as he scouts that one out with the Rockets. Heads up play there from Jude, and they ultimately get Lodestone to make that cooldown used, and they avoid any kind of deaths there. As Doctor, he rotates into the jungle here. He's going to take out some triple stacks there with the health potion, and he's going to be making his way toward that Icon of the Goddess with 1600 gold saved up. But looks like he'll go back to base possibly for now. He might look to take out this triple easy camp. Does he have enough damage or HP to take this one out? He has another magnetic contraption, so looks like he'll be just fine. As he will finish that one up and then get some regen back at the base. Meanwhile, we have Scout placing eyes in the Legion jungle here. He's going to have eyes on both the hill and the middle of the jungle there. He only has level 1 in that spell just now, so only able to place 2 eyes currently. But using them to get that information of these rotations coming out from the Legion side. As Kraken is in a really offensive position here. He's going to get spotted out by the Geostock. He's going to run into both the Monarch and the Geomancer. Both the stuns going to be used here. He's going to look to turn this one around with the release of Kraken. There's the damage coming in from the splash. He has the Tsunami charge still. While this is going on, Scout does die to the Gemini in the bottom lane. Kraken gets his TP stopped. He does get the kill onto Monarch, and Kraken will fall as they do rotate. 4 players in total here as Monarch did fall, but a solo kill coming in from the Gemini onto the Scout. So 2 kills going the way of the Pandas, 1 kill going the way of the Doghouse. Flux continues to farm over in the Hellborn's jungle. And Dr. Repulsor, he's got just enough gold now for his Icon of the Goddess, 1100 in the bank. He has enough gold for that beast start once he does decide to go to the base and break that. But he jumps in onto the Lodestone here. The rockets from Chipper, and that's why he jumps in. Chipper was coming from the flank there with the chainsaws, and they lock him down. They do bring down the lodestone there. 3 points being put in those opposite charges for that extra lockdown. Here comes a marksman shot onto the Monarch. The dives are coming in. There's a crippling pollen, locking down the Dr. Repulsor. Here comes the Twin Fangs jump into the breath from Gemini. He splits into dog form, and they will lock down Repulsor. He will fall, and the dive is real as the tower does fall initially, but they do end up losing the Dr. Repulsor there before he's able to break his boost and get the icon. He's still gonna have enough gold for it, but not going to be able to get any charges going just yet. Scout is still in the area. He's getting spotted here by the Geostock. There's the dust being used from Geomancer. He's going to miss the stun there. Lodestone, he's trying to line up the rocket drill. There's the Twin Fang stun as well. 5 players from the Pandas rotate to set up that kill. So a lot of resources being used there as they do eventually get that scout kill. But we have Veiled Rod and Flux here in the Legion's jungle, or so on the hill here. He's got the double damage rune ready to go. Znooki holding on to 1400 plus gold. What will he be building into this game is the question. As the tower does fall, the board is happening. Flux is trying to get in range for a discharge, but it looks like he is not going to be going for that one. As Doctor, he's got some stacks to work on here, so despite picking up the icon, it looks like he still wants to kind of work on these jungle stacks, get these cleaned up, get that level 11 going. As Kraken pushes the bottom tower, he's going to get caught here in between the towers as again they rotate for that kill. Middle lane, the tower does fall as well, so 2 towers in total going their way. As they did previously take out the tier 1 on the side of the Pandas as well, so 2 towers for 1. We have Scout kind of leading the way here, following the lodestone, just kind of seeing where he's going. But I don't know if he scouted out these stacks here that the Legion side has made. Gemini picks up the Astrolabe. Looks like he'll be building into the LilredPanda. Initiation here onto the Flux. He's going to go for the TP, but he will be stopped here. Gemini gets credit for that kill. He is now on an onslaught streak as he continues to be the top farmer here. 520 gold for him. First Grasp going to reveal Scout, and Scout is going to be no more. So it's a 14-7 hero kill lead for the side of the Pandas, but you know what? At the same time, we still have the golden experience lead going the way of the Doghouse, so I kind of talked about it. Every time they kind of rotate for a kill, they are using a lot of resources to get these kills. Now, Chipper almost gets spotted out here by Lodestone. That was funny. He actually makes the escape there in the trees, but release the Kraken, locking down Monarch. Monarch goes down to the Kraken, just a little bit too far down there in the bottom lane by himself. He says hello over to Ozov. Ozov's like, "What's up, bro?" But yeah, another kill going the way of Kraken. He's sitting on 1600 gold. So despite the 5 deaths, he's getting closer to his portal. Gemini leading the front lines here. He's going to get initiated on as the charge. Stuns him up into the trees. He's going to get the Twin Fangs jump to safety. Dr. Repulsor running out of mana. And will this be his downfall now? Here comes the stuns landing onto Chipper. Chipper is going to fall. They're going to get the return kill here onto Athonian. Repulsor with the assistance of Kraken locking down the Gemini. He will split into dog form. He will go down. Dr. Repulsor has the icon charges kicking in, and they're going to get the kill there onto the Geomancer as well. A buyback happens from Alonia. He is trying to make his way back to this team fight. Shadow Storm is going to be channeled, but it will not connect onto the Kraken, and Kraken is trying to make the escape now. He does line up the Tsunami charge, and they will get the kill there onto the low. Here comes the absolute from Alonia as Flux is forced to use the defensive discharge, but not going to matter in the end as they do get that kill onto Flux. Kraken, he picks up his portal key. He jumps back in with Dr. Repulsor, who uses, doesn't use a buyback actually. He just regens up with the icon as he picks up the Gnome's Wisdom as well. He is still not done. He's looking for this kill here onto Monarch as Monarch's trying to juke here in the trees. Auto attack coming in with the magnetic contraption, and it's a double tap for Fa on the Dr. Repulsor and make it 5 icon charges picked up in this team fight. So right after picking up that Gnome's Wisdom, they take a fantastic fight down there in the bottom lane, netting themselves several kills on top of an eventual dieback, as he did die post buyback there. So we have double portal keys picked up on the Doghouse, as we just saw there. Kraken picked his up in the middle of that fight. Flux jumps in, forcing out the Twin Fangs jump from the Gemini. But a lot of key items being picked up now across the board on the Hellborn side. Tablet even picked up on the Chipper. And as we can see, only a couple of light brands picked up on the Legion side. No portal keys just yet on either the Geomancer or the Lodestone. So still quite a ways away from their initiation tools moving forward here. But Gemini with the death, he's fallen to 490 gold per minute. Dr. Pulsar overtaking the charts here at 570 gold per minute. And right behind him is Flux with 425 and Alonia with 400 GBM. We have Flux with the Veiled Rod here. He's going to run into both the Alonia and the Monarch here. Here comes the cleansing wind from the Monarch. Flux is being slowed here. There's going to be a defensive discharge. Rockets coming in from downtown from Juder, but here comes Gemini now with the Twin Fangs on. Chainsaws are down, and Gemini is going to be turned around. Flux is going to hold his ground with that focus buffer. Release the Kraken in the background, locking down Flux as the Monarch does end up falling. And Dr. Pulsar with that double damage, and he picks up a hat trick. And he is now sitting on 9 icon charges, as it's going to be a full genocide here in favor of the Doghouse, and they don't lose a single player here as they take this team fight here in the Legion's jungle. So they will now be leading by 9,500 gold and almost 9,000 experience. A massive lead being built here by the side of the Doghouse, as all of the key items coming to full effect. Dr. Pulsar picking up the Mighty Blade. Looks like he'll be building into a Shrunken Head. We'll see if he does decide to finish that off in the near future, as he's sitting on 1,600 gold. But again, just no items outside of the light brands for the side of our Legion side. Lodestone only on 188 gold per minute. Still very far away from a portal key. Alonia looks like he's building towards a Dawnbringer. He has the Quick Blade picked up. We have very little gold on the supports. They're both 160 and 170 gold per minute. We have a jump here on the Alonia. The Crystals is going to prevent that kill initially. Dr. Pulsar is going to get stunned up by the Crystal Field. Will they have the damage to bring him down? Here comes Gemini and Lodestone, and Dr. Repulsor will finally fall. His onslaught streak is going to come to an end there, as he does lose half of his icon charges there, and we will have a buyback coming in from Dr. Pulsar. Just simply wants to get back into that farming action here, as he will go back into the jungle to clean out this hard camp here. So gonna hit the level 16 mark there. Again, still the top farmer of the top XPM of the game, 4 levels above any player from the Legion side.
Kneel before Jupiter!
But we have an Abyssal Skull picked up on the Scout. Alonia dies once again in the mid lane. Double portal keys catching him off, only on 872 life. Just too squishy to survive these initiations. Meanwhile, top lane we have Shadowstorm being channeled here by the Lodestone. Rockets coming in from the background. Lodestone is going to fall. Not even going to be close to turning that one around onto the Dr. Repulsor. We have Duder doing his signature triple bracer build. I love the Duder build there. Got the 1200 HP there. Gets the Word of Sight down between the towers. Rockets are coming in, trying to help assist here as they dive onto the base here. Kraken not going to get his TP stopped. He will land that one back in the base, so the dive will be successful, as Flux also escaping on 30 life. He's going to get the TP on out in the trees. So they're making the escapes look pretty close there, but calculating it all the time, as Flux sitting on 1,000 gold still hasn't picked up any items past this portal key. He continues to use the Veiled Rods here to continue this progression. Scout, he's in the trees here, gonna find this Word of Sight placed by Monarch with that Electric Eye. And I gotta think that that's been a constant nuisance this game. Scout just running around with the Electric Eyes, constantly giving vision, constantly finding these wards. And we can see the Pandas are kind of feeling that vision being lost, as they're kind of running together more or less as 5 down here in the bottom lane. So if they're going to try to take out this tier 1 tower, they will be successful. Dr. Repulsor continues to farm away in his jungle, sitting on 2,000 gold. And I do believe he's still going for that Shrunken Head. He's getting pretty close to completing that. Alonia finishes the Searing Light. Going to be going for the Dawnbringer. Electric Eye going to be bottom here by Lowstone. Kraken jumps in, releases the Kraken. Here comes the Flux Bolt on top. It's going to pull several heroes in. Shatterstorm being channeled here as Alonia gets his absolute zero off. First victim to fall will be that Kraken as Alonia does fall. Dr. Repulsor, he's going to get locked down by the Gemini. He will fall. He did not have his Shrunken Head just yet. Still sitting on 2,600 gold. Lowstone will get the rocket drill off here on the Flux. There's the Astrolabe coming in from the Gemini, healing up the Lowstone, but Kraken is here with the buyback as he does line up a Tsunami Charge, taking out the Geomancer, and they're looking for more. Scout leading the front lines here. Will force out the Twin Fangs jump, and there will be a complete reset coming out from the Legion side as they do take a pretty solid fight there. They got, I believe, 2 kills and a buyback onto both the Kraken and the Dr. Repulsor. Gemini will get the kill here onto the Scout as they're not able to get a return kill there. So Dr. Repulsor now has enough gold for his Shrunken Head if he does decide to finish that one off. Yes, he will go ahead and complete that item now. Alonia with the Veiled Rod here. He's thinking about maybe going for a kill on the Flux, it looks like, but can he solo kill the Flux is the question. Gonna open out of the Veiled Rod there. He will fall back after pushing out that creep wave. Gemini picks up the Frozen Light here, so he will be going for the Dawnbringer this game. And he is... it looks like he just finished that Frozen Light, so still needs the remaining piece there for the full Dawnbringer. Lowstone picked up a Flux. Big enough Flux, he's going to get Shatterstormed here by Lowstone, but Lowstone, he's going to be just fine. Marksman shot coming in from Scout. That will take him down as Geomancer going to be forced to use the Dig Stun defensively there. Flux going to hold his ground. And it will be the 1 kill going the way of Doghouse there. Chipper running at Gemini in the bottom lane, almost making him feel like he had backup there. It just looked so funny, the support Chipper running at Gemini. If only Gemini knew he was all by him, I think he would be that scared. But Dr. Repulsor, he's here in the Legion jungle. So I'm going to land here from the Gemini. Are they going to get him locked down? He cannot get his Shrunken Head off and he will fall. Gotta question Dr. Repulsor being so aggressive down here in the Legion's jungle, but yeah, he will end up falling there. Great lockdown from the stuns there as Kraken is going to be forced to use the Tsunami Charge defensively there. Gemini will port up to the top lane here to try to hold this tower. We have a Marksman shot coming in onto the Gemini, dealing some good damage there.
Ain't nobody killing that tower but me.
But the lead continues to kind of remain around this 15,000 experience lead. We haven't really had the lead kind of expand as a couple of buybacks definitely hurting them, as well as Team Fight or 2 going in the favor of the Pandas. But we have a Storm Spirit picked up here on the Chipper, so he has a nice combination there between both the Tablet and the Storm Spirit. Dude are actually sitting at 365 gold per minute. Found quite a lot of farm this game on the Chipper, as I believe we just had a staff picked up by Flux. He's gonna have that full staff, and that means he's gonna have the global discharge, so no matter what, they will get pulled now. On the side of Legion, we have the Dawnbringer finished on the Alonia. Kraken building an Arcana. Looks like we could possibly see Hellflower. You never know, it could be Do I dare say twin blades, but could be a restoration stone or a hellflower, the more likely pickups. Speaking of Kraken, he's going to get the catch here on a Gemini. Scout kind of starting that one off by scouting him out. No pun intended there, but also setting up with the marksman shot. They bring down the Gemini.
Kneel before
Here comes
Jupiter.
the global pull from the Flux. Dr. Repulsor jumping in. They want the skill on Alonia, and Alonia going to get hit with this. He will end up falling nonetheless, but Kraken will go down to the Crystal Field there as Dr. Repulsor forced to pop the Shrunken Head. Gemini with the buyback. They're looking to re-engage here as there is still currently 4 players alive from the side of Doghouse as Chipper was coming in from the flank, but he will fall back. Monarch leading the front lines is going to get pulled in by the Flux. Here comes a Chrysalis, but not going to prevent that damage. He will end up falling to the marksman shot there of Scout. So we see Doghouse still kind of hanging in the area here. Will they get the jump on the Gemini, though? Question with the Kraken tag. I don't know if Dr. Repulsor is willing to jump in here without a Shrunken Head, but does have that cooldown coming back up. So it looks like they'll be content with farming Legions, jungle, and calling it a day as they will spread out across the map. We have Geomancer using his Geostock, looking for anything he can find here, as they might have seen Scout kind of in the area. They're not going to get the catch here. So Gemini with the buyback, he's going to have his Dawnbringer a little bit slowed down now, falling to only 437 GPM. But sitting on 1100 gold. They're looking to take out this tower here. They will get it, as there's no resistance from the Doghouse up here. Dr. Repulsor, meanwhile, still remaining down in the bottom portion of the map, keeping that bottom lane pushed in, taking away resources from their jungle. Flux currently with a double damage rune in his bottle. We'll see if they look to use that in the next minute or so for a potential team fight. Geomancer going to go in with a Jig Stun here. Dr. Repulsor pops the Shrunken Head as the Flux Discharge was used to scout things out. Chipper going to get caught here in the jungle. I don't see him making the escape here. Let's see, we'll get stunned up by the Gemini. Scout picks up a portal key. He's going to avoid the lodestone there, possibly looking to line up a rocket as the dust came out from the Geomancer. But that will conclude that fight, as only Chipper does end up falling. We have a tablet picked up on the Monarch. Portal key has been picked up for quite some time now on the Geomancer. But Lodestone only with a portal key. Definitely not showing the same performance we saw from the Lodestone last game. Only sitting on the 215 gold per minute. We have Flux uses his stuff here in the top lane. Shatterstorm gonna miss here, so Dr. Repulsor jumps in with the Drunken. Gonna get the 1 kill here on the Lodestone. Doctor's thinking about re-engaging, but with the Shrunken on cooldown, might not want to do that, as Kraken does get the jump here onto Alonia and the Monarch to get 2 kills there, as Doctor picks up a double tap. Kraken gets the kill there onto the Monarch, and the lead now expanding to 17,000 gold and 25,000 experience. as they might be looking to pressure the base now. 3 players dead from the side of the doghouse. As meanwhile in the bottom lane, Scout ends up going down to Gemini and Geomancer. But they're going to use the glyph here. The creeps are going to be killed, and they're going to put some pressure here on the tower. Gold, but it might be going into that restoration stone still, so I think he would need a little bit more if he does want to go for that restoration stone. Only gonna get that Haster with the Veiled Rod here. But again, we see more or less all 5 players from the Pandas here in their jungle. Doghouse kind of spreading out the farm across the map. Scout continues to be placing those eyes. We're going to see a jump from Dr. Pulsar, Hellflower coming in from Doctor. They take out the Monarch. And will they get the jump on the Doctor? It looks like he's going to get to safety. So 1 kill happening. No response kills coming out from our Legion side. So the Hellflower from Dr. Pulsar, that is a brand new pickup. It's going to really amp up his damage. Consistent for those solo kills. He's going to jump very deep here for the Elodia. Now again, Hatred is activated by the Elodia, so he's more or less going to be using all of his mana. Top lane, Gemini, or not Gemini, Lodestone and Geomancer are going to lock down Flux for a kill there. As Flux is going to fall. And they're thinking about maybe doing their Kong War here. Gemini starting that off. While this is going on, Chipper split pushing down in the bot lane. Chipper already using his chainsaws here. Just simply taking out the tower. Dr. Pulsar flying in. He's going to lock down Gemini. There's a crit. Prevent that follow-up damage. And now Dr. Pulsar's going to have to go for the TP on out. The Shrunken Head is going to keep him alive as he does get the port out to safety. But Chipper, he's not going to be successful as he gets his port stopped. He is going to fall there. Kill credit going to the Gemini. Elodia trying to slow up the Scout here as the Silence coming in with the Dawnbringer. Here comes the stun from Lodestone. He's going to catch him with a Rocket Drill, and they will have enough damage to bring him down. So 3 kills in total going the way of the Pandas, as Kraken did complete his Restoration Stone. And he's sitting on 1,300 gold as well. Boundai was picked up on the Geomancer. Definitely think that Boundai is going to be a nice tool there. As we're going to get a jump here on the Lodestone. Dr. Pulsar though, he is going to fall all by himself. Not too sure what he was thinking there. As even if he gets that kill onto Lodestone, is that one really worth it? As it does cost him his own life. But the Boundai, I think that was definitely necessary. Not only dealing with the Scout, but for dealing with these eyes, the electric eyes being placed, as well as the wards. I think this is going to help them get map control back, so I do like the pickup there of the Boundai. Flux sitting on a Arcana. It looks like might be going for Restoration Stone, wants the double discharge, possibly into the double release the Kraken. I think they're looking for the double wombo combo, and you know what? They almost have the Restoration Stone on the Flux. If they're able to pull that combo off, that's going to be funny to see. as the Flux Pull does work over cliffs and whatnot. Release the Kraken coming out here from Mazza onto the Monarch using the Chrysalis. Kraken is going to fall. Marksman shot, a lot of that damage being mitigated there by the Chrysalis. And Lowstone now he does use the head smash there. Chainsaws are down from the Chipper, and Scout and the Kraken are both going to fall. Chipper going to use the rockets there in the face of Lowstone. Not going to be enough damage for a kill. Will they have the lockdown to keep this Chipper in place? It looks like he'll be just a little bit too tanky as he continues to shoot out his rockets, trying to find the potential Lowstone there. Doctor going to use the Shrunken Head. He jumps in. He's going to find Geomancer. A nice dodge initially from Geomancer using the dig, but 2 kills going the way of Doctor. As Gemini is going to split up into dog form. He's going for the kill here onto Dr. Repulsor. He's going to recombine here, and he has a breath coming out. Doctor taking some heavy pressure. There's the chainsaws down onto Gemini. Chipper is going to fall here as Gemini, he does Twin Fangs to safety under threat of Doctor possibly re-engaging there. So 3 players in total going down now for the Doghouse. As Gemini getting close to that Shrunken Head, having the 2,600 gold saved up. But we're going to have a vote to pause come out here. This one from the Legion side, so perhaps maybe needing to take a break here, perhaps a restroom break, something or other, but we are 37 minutes into the match currently. Doghouse still at a lead of 14,000 gold and 25,000 experience lead. But 4,000 gold on the Flux here. I'm pretty sure we're going to see the double, or the Restoration Stone rather. And there is that potential now for the double discharge, double release the Kraken, which, you know, if they're able to pull that combo off, that's going to be quite the combo there. As the release the Kraken will lock them down. And deal some pretty good damage, but they're definitely going to need the chainsaws on top of that for some extra damage. Possibly Dr. Repulsor flying in on top of them all. We'll see if that leads to anything moving forward. But the Shrunken Heads are being worked on by the Legion side, most notably the Gemini and the Alonia, both with Mighty Blades. Gemini gonna have enough gold for his Shrunken here as he does clean up the creeps. But Lodestone goes for the Shaman's Headdress, so he's a little bit more durable there. Moving forward, we could potentially see a Barrier Idol completed. See what he does decide to go for. We're going to have a jump here on the Dr. Repulsor, more so on the Monarch as the Shrunken Head is up from Doctor. He is getting very low on his mana. Here comes Release the Kraken walking down the Gemini as the Flux Pull is on top. And there's the second pull into the second. Release the Kraken for the second one, and they're going to clean up the entire Legion side. The Pandas are going to get genocided here, but it does come, or it only came at a cost of both the Flux and the Kraken. So a pretty nice setup there from the Doghouse as they do take a 5-for-2 team fight, and they do snag that Bound Eye as Scout does end up eventually picking that one up. And they will now be working on the base here. As the tower will fall, the Raxes are going to fall here. 4 players dead. Still, as Monarch does naturally respawn, they will get the first Rax of the game here at the 39-minute mark. And we'll see if they look to do any more tower damage here on the base. So I'm going to eat a marksman shot here from the Scout. Going to be a little bit too tanky, but Dr. Repulsor jumps in on the Monarch. Monarch is going to fall. Hellflower comes in on the Lodestone, and he will also get the second kill there. Onslaught streak coming out on the Dr. Repulsor. And he will use that Junkanite to fly to safety as he did dive into the tier 4 towers there. But everyone has now respawned for the side of the Pandas. Lodestone and Monarch still remaining dead, but where will we see the next team fight take place? Uh, we have the first release the Kraken coming back off cooldown. Restoration Stone is going to be up in a couple of seconds here. Flux still with his Restoration Stone on cooldown for another 35 seconds, so we could possibly see them wait that one out. And oh boy, I think I just saw a Doombringer get picked up here by Dr. Repulsor. And well, that's going to be quite a damage tool there for Dr. Repulsor moving forward. He's going to be hitting for 500 damage with the Doombringer. He pops the Shrunk and he's going to jump in here on the Alonia. He's going to more or less four-shot him. Gets the first kill. Lodestone taking some heavy pressure there, but Doctor wasn't feeling comfortable going for the next kill. As we have a buyback from Scout. Scout did end up falling. Dr. Pulse are going to jump in on the Monarch. Monarch is three-shotted. It's a double tap for him as the Release the Kraken was used, hoping that Flux would go for the pull there, but as we can see, Gemini is not in the area. Lodestone and G-Mancer get the TPs to safety. So Doctor gets a couple of charges there on his new Doombringer. That's going to give 20 more damage over to the Doombringer. As Gemini's going to get his TP stopped here by the Flux Pull. Dr. Pulsar, is he going to have the damage to bring him down? Yes, he will. The Hellflower there, not allowing Gemini to recombine. Meanwhile, in the base, Kraken is going to fall as he extends a little bit too deep there. We're going to have a concede vote get called. It's not going through just yet. There it is. 41 minutes in, we're going to have the Pandas throw in the towel. And game number 2 and the series will go over to the Doghouse. So Dr. Repulsor finishes this one with 570 gold per minute and a Doombringer in his inventory. Double Restoration Stones on both the Kraken and the Flux. Just simply going to be too much for the Pandas to overcome. But again, that that win there from the Doghouse is going to mean the series will come to a conclusion, and we now have our final round 1 winner going to be the Doghouse. Moving on, they will face Team Tim in the next round, aka the semifinals, taking place tomorrow. And then in the upper bracket, we have Backdoor Protocol taking on Donkey Kong, I believe it is. As I had to get my memory bank going there, but that will be the remaining 4 teams. We'll have both the semifinals and the finals taking place tomorrow, but that will do it here for our coverage for today in the first round. So that's gonna do it from me. I'm getting pretty tired here. It's been a pretty long day of casting. We're closing in on